The return of Nigel Farage will be the final nail in the Conservative coffin. As soon as Nigel announced that he was going to stand, my email ignited and has not stopped since. I have no idea how many people are joining Reform UK at the moment, but it is invariably a significant number. Something incredible is happening out there, and the UK political landscape is about to change forever. After 14 years of Tory arrogance, lie after lie after lie, and 5 prime ministers, all with an equal record of shame, in 2010, David Cameron promised to get net migration down to tens of thousands, yet we all know what happened since then. Millions and millions arriving here just in the last decade. The resident citizens of this country taking second place to those who have arrived and often elbowed their way into our country. Net migration is one of the most misused and misleading terms in British politics. Last year alone, 600,000 people left the UK. That would actually mean that net migration of 0 would result in 600,000 people arriving. The long-term average of people leaving the UK each year is over 500,000. So even if net migration were 0, in a decade it would result in over 5 million people arriving, with many encouraging yet more to follow in their footsteps. And that is just with net 0 migration. Last year, the gross number of arrivals was 1.4 million, and that is just the legal migration that we know of. What about the climate argument? We have just over 4 weeks to get the message to the masses. No more net zero madness that is costing the UK over 30 billion a year, making the friends of the globalists very rich, while those who can least afford it are suffering the most. A nation being enslaved and held to ransom rather than tangible action to reduce pollution. Where are the calls to reduce plastics? Where are the calls to reduce trade with China until such time as it stops choking the planet with hundreds of new coal-fired power stations that have emitted more pollution in the last 5 years than the British Empire has since the Industrial Revolution? Having been born and bred in Northampton, this is my home, and what happens here is really important to me, which is why I am already a parish councillor, enabling me to deal with everyday matters for local people, even though it can be very frustrating at times because I want to do so much, but in reality there is very little that I can do about anything. Nothing would give me greater pleasure than to have the opportunity to actually fight for what really matters, including tangible action on climate and pollution, effective policies to end land banking and overseas investors parking their ill-gotten gains in our housing market, locking young people out. I support incentives and new laws to ensure that young people have as much opportunity to buy or rent a home as their parents. I want to end the trans ideology being promoted in schools with instant dismissal for anyone doing so. Safe places for women to be respected and an immediate clampdown on grooming gangs who hide behind fear of racism, and immediate independent investigations into anyone deemed to have covered for grooming gangs. Ultimately, I urge you to ask yourselves, do you want to vote for a local candidate who has passionate determination to address local concerns as well as support the major issues, and is within a party that has taken the United Kingdom political climate by storm with new ideas that threaten to smash the narrative? Or will you vote for a party whose leader does not know what a woman is? I need not go on. You know what I stand for. What do you stand for?